Hey everybody, welcome to Meeks Bottom Line. We haven't met in a while, but I got the entire crew here, so I'm excited. I got my Joelle, Joelle, oh my Joelle.
All right, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
We have Joelle and B. We have my husband Newt. We have OG Chuck. We
Hey,
have our traveling commentator Kate. We have Big Boy Loy in the corner and Cousin Rocky in the middle. It's like squares. What's up, crew?
hey, what's going on?
Did you say my name? I don't even remember.
Want to hear it again? Adrian.
I didn't hear it,
I
but
thought I
okay.
said it too. Maybe my
What
girl
it is?
Adrian.
With Embiid.
With the did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, but it looks like you have a little bush when you're in front of me. It looks
He introduced you and your co-host.
okay. That's a great picture, Adrian. Oh, he's here. Oh yeah.
You can
Joe-
just do the voiceover and be like Embiid in place of Embiid.
Oh, come on back. Oh, there she is.
This shit.
Looking like she's gonna play.
This is
All right, crew. Well, let's discuss last night. Chuck.
last night, or you want to talk about?
No.
Oh,
We're gonna start on the upswing. We're gonna
I
start.
thought we were close.
No, we're gonna
Don't do it.
positivity. Joel Embiid, 70 points last night. What was it like, Chuck? Tell me.
I mean, the atmosphere was crazy. I remember being a child going to the old Civic Center when Wilt Chamberlain was playing. And I mean, that way surpassed that. The crowd was ready to kill Daniel House because he took like
Take
4 or
that
5
shot.
shots at the end of the game. Uh, and everybody was like waiting with bated breath because when they took Embiid out and they had pretty comfortable lead, we're like, he's not going to come back in. But when he got back up to come back in the fourth quarter, everybody stood up for the whole fourth quarter. They didn't sit down. Nobody sat down.
Wow.
No one was afraid of him getting hurt. Like nobody was like, just get him out of there.
You know what? I thought of that. I said, you know what? Wins over statistics. But I mean, it was just a story. It was just a magical night. It was just a magical
Special.
night.
It was special.
Yeah,
He-
I went from like take him out to I gotta see how this plays out. Like because he just couldn't miss. He couldn't
was
miss.
hitting from everywhere.
And he took the young boy to school. He took Wimbayama to school. He showed him what it's all about. He
Well, they
said,
already said that he had limited minutes because of an injury. So it wasn't like a minute for minute, match for match type of, playoff type of thing. So, but still, I mean, he is the elder statesman, so he did what
I didn't know it was the anniversary of the Kobe big game
How about
too.
that?
18 years.
Wow.
18 years.
Point.
Look at that.
And Kobe was his
81.
favorite. Kobe was his favorite player.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I honestly think that he would 80 had, they didn't limit those minutes because he didn't even hit 40 minutes.
He
Like,
never did 40 minutes.
Yeah, he never plays 40 minutes, right? But the Spurs was hanging in there at the end, like, and they cut 9 points, and that's when I think they had to bring him back in anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And it was all in the flow of the game because he was still making dropping dimes. It was still in the flow of the game. It wasn't really forced.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, San
Wow.
Antonio, they got a good young squad too. They got a nice squad.
Well, they're in the winning record is not a winning record.
They're not ready.
Yeah.
They're not
They
ready.
just
for
have a
prime
star
time.
player. What you think?
Well, Embiid did something last night that nobody's ever done.
Only, yeah, right.
And that only him, and that's a 70-15-5 game with 1 turnover.
Wow.
That's right. Michael Jordan was the
Only
player.
Michael Jordan and him had the 70-15-5,
Yeah.
but Jordan had multiple turnovers.
Right.
Wow.
There you
Wow.
go.
So
Yeah,
how
that's
I don't know how to pull these statistics.
Just one 3-pointer.
Right.
Yeah.
But every time he does something now, it's historical. I mean, when you start doing stuff every game that only Wilt, Kareem, Elgin, and Michael did, and Kobe, I mean, every night. And then it gives you something special every night now. I want to look at the mental aspect of it. And I think that, children ground you. And I think since he had his son, he's a different guy. He's not as playful anymore, and he's focused. And I think that has a lot to do with it, too, the off-court stuff.
I agree.
And he's having fun too with the squad. Everybody's smiling and everything, you know.
Definitely, definitely. Can I tell you one of my favorite parts was the end of the game when they were talking to Brett Brown and they were just surrounding him. What'd you
Yeah,
say, Steve?
love that too. That was great.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, that was cool.
and then the media started honing in on him, but I just thought they were so intrigued, and you could just tell he was a great coach to them, probably a great mentor, and it showed me something. So
He
I
gave him
thought,
his name, the process.
yeah, how about that?
How about
How
that?
about
Yeah.
that? Yeah. So
Gotta
what are we?
trust it.
How are we feeling for the? I mean, I don't know. I feel like a little somber. Like, no, I know we're excited. I don't know if it's because it's almost 8 o'clock. But like how are we feeling? Are we still feeling losing hangover from the Eagles?
Are you going from Eagle?
I'm just
I'm over there. I've been over it.
Yeah. Yeah. The way that the Sixers have been playing, it's like, okay, we got to move on. We got to let that go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Season,
I
you know,
I
sport.
like to
anyway.
say one thing about the Eagles, though. I don't know why Sirianni is still here.
There you go.
He should be gone. If we got rid of Peterson and he won the Super Bowl, then we should be able to get rid of a guy that only got there. I think I don't really know who Sirianni is. I mean, if you look at it in retrospective, the coordinators really were propping him up. I mean, if you look at the great coaches, you know Shanahan is running the offense in San Francisco. Belichick is running the defense in New England. Tomlin's running the defense in Pittsburgh. Andy Reid's running the offense in KC. What is he really running? Because we went from a top five offense and a top two defense to what? Bottom everything.
Right.
And that was a weak move, firing the coordinator or kicking him upstairs, and then you get a worse coordinator.
Yeah, Patricia was terrible.
I mean,
Yeah.
you don't change horses in the middle of the stream. I wouldn't want to work for somebody that don't have my back.
But maybe that could be the appeal with Howie and Laurie, that they don't want somebody who wants their hand in every pot. They want Howie to run it. So to get somebody more vocal, you know, and doesn't allow them to do that, just
Yeah.
that's not going to fit for them. They don't want that.
Yeah,
push.
but if Howie's gonna be doing it, it's gonna be going back like the Dallas Cowboys with the owner. The owner, he got his head into the players and everything. You don't want that with the
They don't want the
Eagles,
Jerry
man.
Jones effect either.
No,
So I
no,
think
no.
Howie wants to be the man. They want the coach to listen and do what they tell him to do. And Dory is gonna you know,
Back him
figure out
up.
the money.
Well, Howie got to take this on the chin because he gutted
He
the
is.
linebackers and the secondary. So
Yeah.
then it's on him then.
I'm catching the Holy Ghost. I'm catching the Holy Ghost because y'all are telling the truth. This is now a less ostentatious version of the Cowboys. It's not a show feed, right? When you look at Howie Roseman, he looks like like a geek, basically, right?
Mhm.
He can't be up to no good, right? But trust me, his hand is in all of this mess. Okay, he cannot draft anything in the back seven. He's horrible with his picks, and then like the ones that he has scored on that have been serviceable players in late rounds, he doesn't even read them, right?
Right.
And then look at this, he doesn't want authoritative figures. After he got his butt embarrassed by Chip Kelly, now Chip Kelly was wrong doing him like that, but he doesn't want to have to be around another ego and that wants control on personnel. And what's hurting us is that we don't have a football mind, a real football mind who's played the game, right? Who's really coached the game, been in the trenches in football operations. How he controls everything. He kowtows Lurie. It's no different than the Cowboys, and that's going to be our Achilles heel. You heard it right here.
Now, as much as we may not like, I'm about to say the word Belichick, but do you believe that that's why we won't get him for that reason? And would have liked to have had him?
Yeah, because you know the Eagles not gonna hire Belichick because he's all defense. They want an offensive mind coach. You know, defense.
Which is
I would love it.
ridiculous
I would love to
because
get
it's the
Belichick,
defense that
but
lost the game.
they don't want to go that route. They don't want to go that route. You
But
know.
the defense was our downfall.
He was the same with Parcells, and Parcells is the same way. They're authoritative. Like I have to have a say so on who we get. I got to have a say so on personnel. It ain't just you, Howie. I got to have something on it. And Howie's not going to go for that anymore.
Yeah.
So he needs
So
a guy that push around like Nick Sirianni, who's just going to be a yes man. So you can fire Nick Sirianni all you want, but he's going to replace with another young, up and coming coach that you've never heard of before, right? And he'll be the next guy. So the way I look at it is let him be the little CEO culture coach, right? Strong-minded senior level coordinators like a Ron Rivera, right? You get him in, right? Ron Rivera is not going to get, they're not going to raid our fridge anymore. So we got to stop getting all these young up and coming coaches because they're going to get stolen away if they have a good year. You get Ron Rivera in here as your DC, no one's going to go ahead and spin the wheels on him being a head coach now in his mid 60s. It ain't going to happen. Just get him here. The guy is successful. He's got ties with us. He's groomed up a lot of players. His defense has been top 7 every place he's been, right? So look at the linebackers he's cultivated. Jeremiah Trotter, Luke Kuechly. I go on and on, man. There's more and more and more. But this guy, Brian Urlacher. I mean, he's for Brian Urlacher. He paid Brian Urlacher one of the greatest linebackers, a Hall of Famer, and he was drafted as a strong safety.
And Biggs too, yeah.
You just said our biggest, what I think was one of our biggest downfalls on defense. You just said it a few times. Linebackers. I don't see how they don't invest in linebackers. Just coming up in football for a long time, I knew that for defense you had to have one of them good middle linebackers that can help you with the blitz or drop.
And Noob, I want to jump on what you were saying too, because TJ Edwards, he was one of our key linebackers last year. And they didn't even offer him a contract, and he ended up going with Chicago because he wanted to come back. He did a great job for us all season long last year, and I was surprised hearing that.
And although I think the problem was the a lot of the linebackers too, but I mean they just weren't tackling though either.
I
don't know where that comes in. Or is that coming in with coaching, like how they're coaching the guys and stuff like that? And that secondary, they look out of sync too. So I say that to say I think they probably look in the direction maybe of like Leslie Frazier too, who used to be that one time before too. I think they really like him too. They were going to give him an opportunity sometime before too. But I know that safety position, like he's strong with that, like safety and that whole back end too. So I don't know.
Can I ask everybody something? If you guys would have had a chance right now, y'all would have still signed C.J. Johnson and let go of the other corner, number 24, what's his name?
Yeah. His name
he stunk the whole thing. I would have gave the money to CJ, because he played his butt off with the Detroit.
Yeah. Well, it was a toss between Blackberry and Blankenship. They both blowed. Like they were both terrible.
Reaction.
Well, to Blankenship's defense though, he was hurt a lot. Like he was hurt a lot. But I mean, he played okay. Yeah, he wasn't the worst, but
he was the leading tackler, and he's the leading tackler because the linebackers weren't making any stops.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how you implode like that. I don't understand how you implode. I will not understand short of a fix. Nothing else makes sense to me. I don't understand how you can't put anything together.
Can I tell you that I thought about the fix when I saw Jalen Hurts, and that's a whole nother story. Mm-hmm. When he was running out and he ran back into the end zone and they got a safety and he never threw the ball away, I was like, the bookies are in it. We can nitpick at Jalen Hurts. Do you think he was playing hurt? Like,
Well, one thing about Jalen Hurts, and it's been reported that him and Brian Johnson were never on the same page. He always wanted them to run more, and he told Brian Johnson, "You're putting me in these terrible third and whatever positions. Why aren't we running the ball more?" And Brian Johnson always rebuked him on that, and he was never cool with him. So I don't know why you give a coordinator a job that's not in sync with your franchise quarterback.
It looked to me like the entire team turned on coaches, management, or whatever, because they didn't play good on offense or defense. Like they both sucked, and looked like AJ was like, "I'm not even coming out there for this. I'm not."
Yeah. I don't blame him.
When AJ took that hit in whatever the game before the last was, when he threw the ball up, and he took that hit in his gut and his ribs. He was so pissed. He said, "I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And what am I about to end my career for? You're not going anywhere."
Yeah.
So it looks like they said Sirianni lost the
Locker room.
The team.
locker room. It looks
Mhm.
like the organization lost the locker room
Yeah.
because they said we're not doing it.
Yeah. But Howie Roseman goes unblamed, you know, in all
Yeah,
this.
he's unblemished.
I
Yeah,
would
he won.
put
Yes, Smith.
Sirianni under, like, he's not being held accountable. Because at the end of the day, he's supposed to be the head coach. I know you blame this coordinator, that coordinator. So what is his job if
That's what I'm saying. What is his
offensive
job?
coordinator and a defensive
Yeah,
coordinator that's
What
calling
is?
the offensive defensive plays? What do he do?
That's what I'm saying. What is his job? Who
Just
is he?
stand
I
there.
don't know who he
Just
is.
Maybe he's the last person to make the last call.
He's a cheerleader. He really is a cheerleader.
Which makes it worse, Lloyd, because at what point do when the play come to him and he say, "Oh no, that's not
Right,
what
right.
on
Yeah,
first
yeah.
and 20, we're not going to sweep my quarterback that's injured."
You
Like,
know,
who does that 2 plays in a row? Who on the goal line have him drop back into the end zone, and who does this stuff?
Right.
Why would you scramble and go into the end zone? Everybody knows not to take a safety.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
I always tell Lloyd that I think about it when we playing like Madden, like even
Yeah.
games,
Right.
you know not to do stuff that they
Mhm.
like situation plays.
You
Like
just-
in a situation not to do some of the stuff in the Madden
And the
game
game.
that
Yeah.
they do on the real field.
He would just
Mhm.
slide down anyway. Like he would always slide down anyway. Just don't slide in the end zone. You
Yeah.
the slide. Like just what you go to the end zone and slide for?
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
What
no,
you
I
trying to
turned it
say?
off. That
Your
was it.
microphone is a little shady today. What you trying to say? Keith's
Oh,
microphone.
Key? I'm sorry.
That Nick Sirianni's, I would say he's very similar, not in terms of wins and performance on the field and all that, but as a coach. But I'd say he's very similar in what they're trying to do in molding him into another John Harbaugh, right? Like, this guy's a special teams coach, even though Nick was an offensive coordinator. But what did John Harbaugh do? He didn't really call the defense for the Ravens, right? He had nothing to really do with the offense for the Ravens, right? But he was just kind of a central figure, more of a culture coach, right?
Yeah, because of the last name too.
And yeah, I mean, but his brother really didn't even come into the fray. Like, well, he was just known as a quarterback. He wasn't even a
Right.
coach on the radar at that time, I think, when John was hired.
Yeah,
But
Well,
and he
isn't the brother looking to leave Michigan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's still on the coach. He's still
Chargers.
the coach over there.
his second interview
That's
Where's he interviewing?
with the Chargers.
And
But-
Atlanta. And Atlanta.
But
But-
whatchamacallit came from that good stock though too. Like he came from that good that Andy Reid stock
the
though
Eagles
also.
never pursue Harbaugh ever, because number one, he's going to want a say-so on personnel, and
Yeah.
Howie
Oh, yeah.
is too much of an ego.
Oh, Harbaugh to Philly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he
Yeah.
wants the Belichick stuff. Yeah.
He's gonna get real reminiscent of when he got to get chased back in the closet from Chip
From
Kelly.
Chip Kelly, right? You're right. You're absolutely
Mhm.
right.
Go for that.
Yeah, well, we're stuck with Sirianni at least for another year. So
Yeah,
So-
hey, but Rocky, I agree with Rocky. You need like very strong-minded former head coach coordinators that are senior level. That are basically associate head coaches, like Rivera or Leslie Frazier, and they can be an assistant head coach of defense. And then you can get one of offense, which would probably be Frank Reich, because the organization is very comfortable with him. He's a head coach, but he's a good coordinator.
Right. That's true.
Now I was thinking, now we always looking at the defense and how bad they played in those last few games. Do you think that they just finally aged? Like, cause we ain't have a bunch of young guys. I know we got a few, drafts and
Well, the older guys we got, what was it? Graham. Who else? Cox. I don't know who else that was in the line.
The one with the mental issues?
Patricia, one thing I'll say about Patricia is he got some he got some work out of the young pups, man. He got like Keely Ringo out on the field and Eli Ricks. They need to get some burn. They got to stop biting on double moves, and the only way that is by playing, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only credit I'll give them, even though we didn't get any results. But they got some good experience at the end.
Okay.
well, we will see. I mean, this is definitely a drama episode
It
coming up
definitely
next
was
season.
a roller coaster that went right
It
to
was
the top.
it was a horrible thing to watch, and
That
Yeah, straight free
There
fall.
was an early prediction that the two teams going to the Super Bowl would be the Ravens and San Francisco. That was predicted early when San Francisco. I'm sorry, not San Francisco. The Ravens. I didn't even know. Maybe they just weren't on my radar. I didn't know they were that great. Because they always choke. They in years past they've choked, but there was a fervor around them that they were destined to go to the Super Bowl. It's playing out that way, which I'm like, this is an NFL fix.
Well,
Yeah.
one good thing,
Well, I don't know if
we
you
have
guys
is
seen-
that Dallas kept Mike McCarthy, so
Like
that's a good thing for us.
And I tell you,
I know-
the only consolation is that Dallas lost first. That was
Yeah.
They got
only-
they
That
got
was crazy.
embarrassed. They got
Mhm.
embarrassed.
It
got
wasn't even so
spanked.
much that they lost first.
I was
It's that
gonna say,
one,
Chuck, I
we
wouldn't
knew
say
we
that-
were playing terribly, and they always predicted they were going to the Super Bowl. It's like, so it was harder on them than it was on us. 'Cause
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
most of
And
us
they keeping their
didn't
coach too.
think it would be any different.
Right, they're keeping their coach, and
Yeah.
they're talking about each other now. Dak's family is talking about C.J. Lamb's family, and Michael Parsons' brothers talking about this one.
Oh
It's
wow.
an implosion there too.
That's what, yeah, that's what losing do.
What do y'all think about them talking about Jalen Hurts' demeanor and how he may need to change some of that?
Right,
Yeah,
he's just
that was-
always nonsense. He like the same all the time.
That's his
Like,
affect. There's none.
He had checked out.
Stoic and you know, he's not really engaged, like especially when things aren't going our way, right? You know, and I don't want him to be, I don't want him to be not be himself, right? But I think he's got to be a little bit more involved and engaged when things ain't going right, man, and just
Some more passion.
he seems too right, not bothered. Like either one way or another seems not to matter.
He's too reserved.
Yeah.
He's too
Yeah.
reserved.
you don't have to be like Tom Brady where you're yelling, but you can just gently come by, you know, Goddard and be like, hey man, you know, we're gonna get back at him on the next round. Like, okay, I got you. Like you don't ever see him do that.
Isolated when stuff ain't going right, you see him isolated a lot, and I
And
think
it's-
Yeah.
he's saying
Bruh,
like
man,
stuff else
come on, man.
going
What
on.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of it. I can't imagine the mental toll it takes on you. And then you got to go in front of the press. I can't, I think he tried to be positive for so long. And then the way they were losing was just
Yeah, when you said
devastating.
embarrassed, Chuck,
We're
I
not
hate
talking
to use
about
that word.
We're not talking
Yeah.
about, a close game. Like we were
Them
getting
last
blown
3
out.
games, I was embarrassed.
weren't
I'm
even
like,
We were
Yeah, that
playing
was
like
crazy.
a 1 in 10 team. It just was. So I guess I get it, but I think I personally think maybe he was physically and mentally had some issues.
But you know, we all
NFL,
bought into the early start because really, when you look back at it, they won a lot of games that they shouldn't have won.
They
that's what
found
I
a
was
way to
saying,
win.
too.
They found a way to win. They sucked us in.
When we were saying, "Oh, we'll take that win,"
Right.
it was really the lucky win that we, didn't want to admit. Like, no, they barely pulled that off, and more so the team beat themselves than we beat them. Like, no,
I remember talking after the Buffalo game when we went into overtime, and I'm telling you, I said the way he was sitting there on that bench when we kicked the field goal and we tied, he was like, "What the fuck? I gotta go back out here." Like it was almost like he wanted it over. But then when he ran it in, he had some emotion in. But sitting on that bench, we tied it. He was like, "All right." But then he went down the field and scored. So, and he looked like he was happy about that. But I was like, his face, he looking too excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping the young guys that we have in there, the guys we got from Georgia, I hope they don't realize this is a norm thing that just happened. It's just something that happened. I hope they get, but sometimes they stick back in their heads and be like, damn, it's gonna be like this.
Right now, they just looking at them checks. They like, yeah, keep the
Yeah.
bread.
But they were in the weight room
coming,
today.
keep
They're
coming.
young.
What'd you say, Keith?
I said you got another one coming back in the Kobe Dean, and he ain't worth a squirt of Mountain Dew, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's a good kid and everything, man. But that guy is like, I'm bigger than that guy. Are you kidding me? You a
Yeah.
tiger? And then made out of pretzels. I mean, like, well, what good is this?
Right.
So we got to start scouting better at that position and corner and safety.
Corner, safeties and linebackers, we
Talk
definitely.
about Reed Blankenship, right? Reed Blankenship led the league, not the league, but he led our team in missed tackles on top of leading the team in tackles.
Our team led the league in missed tackles.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Those missed tackles was hard. That was the worst thing to watch.
And they
I mean,
were saying like that's not something like you can't even like coach that. You got to want to tackle somebody. Like
Right.
it's not nothing you can teach how to tackle. Or,
Keep it DeAndre Swift or what?
come again? I'm sorry.
Go keep DeAndre Swift. He's a free agent.
absolutely.
Listen, keep them. I mean, you didn't use them. What you gonna keep?
Right,
Them?
right. They should have
Right.
ran him more. They
When
should have
you,
ran
but
him
I try not to even bring them up. But when you got a Pro Bowl running back, how don't you run for 3 and 2? Like you on third down, 2 yards, and you don't run
You want to pass?
your Pro Bowl running back?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
or you
but
put,
that's the thing they had a problem with.
or you
Yeah.
put Gainwell in on the goal line instead of him.
Right.
Like, he's like, what the
Oh,
Like
Man,
that's the thing of a coordinator that thinks he knows more than you. And sometimes you don't have to be cute, man. You could just impose your will. You know we're going to run it, and that's that.
Right.
You know, the only time we ever do that is when we're doing the tush push. That's it.
that's another thing. How have you if you know this tush push gets you a yard plus most of the time, and you
Yeah.
3rd and 2, how you don't tush push 2 times? Like how you don't do this?
That joint on
That
third,
makes good.
okay?
That's
Third
how
and-
we knew we weren't gonna win that game. The push tush didn't even work.
the push didn't
Now,
work.
if you talk about Tampa, I mean Tampa Bay. Now they found out how to stop it. When we was on the goal line and we tried it, the ball hit the ground, and that stops everything because now they can't even push the crowd forward. Their
That
Yeah,
offensive line got
BS too.
lower than ours, and that's the key to stopping it.
he got
That is
lowered.
the key. You've been successful with the push tush all year. They just all gave up. Kelsey was like, my neck and my shoulders, everything hurt. I'm done. I'm
well,
done.
he had Vita Veda in the middle. He big guy like me. He had him over top of him, so that was kind of tough anyway.
Hey man, Jason had more energy in that booth the other night with
picked up the girl kissing babies, kissing babies, throwing Budweisers.
He was free. Like
on.
yeah, he was free. He's like, I'm done.
Like
I'm
that's
done.
your problem. Y'all worry about
That's
that.
stress. I'm done. I'm taking off my shirt.
Oh, what are those
Yeah.
G's?
It was
man.
a total collapse. Period.
All the old guys can go, man. It's time, man. I mean,
It is time.
if Kelsey wants to run it back, fine. But I mean, like, look, Kelsey, Graham, Fletcher Cox, they all have to go. We need
That's
that
what I
money.
was saying. I think all of them guys.
And Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
He might.
Lane too.
He might
got another 2 years?
He got 2 more years left. Yeah, probably 2 more
Oh
years
my
left. Yeah.
God, his mind is wicked.
But you're gonna get about a good what? How much cap relief is that if they all walk? I think you get about 30 million in cap relief if all those guys, walk. And man,
a lot of. I don't think they utilize him as much as they.
Hey,
could.
he's a good singer.
Yeah, well,
He's a good
let's put him back there on the voice then. 'Cause
Yeah, but
Not
then
knowing how to
got
play
that cap
baseball,
space, what's how we gonna do
know how
it?
to do it.
What's how we gonna do with the cap space if we get it? Can we trust him?
no, you really can't. I mean, because he uses the cap to cover up all of his mistakes. And if he drafted accordingly, and if he had some real football operation people in the front office with him, then he wouldn't have to play this cleanup mess by getting all these aged corners and these journeyman linebackers every year, right? And paying these old corners top dog money when they're about to hit 30 years old, man. Like,
and they'd be the smallest corners. I'd be like, how you don't get a tall?
But can I tell you, for 10 games, Howie could do no wrong. Like for 10 games, Howie was the man.
No, that's
Howie wasn't the man.
Our first 10 games.
Howie wasn't the man.
And that's when the word implode comes to play, because everybody loved, like when we were
last year. I know we loved Howie. We went to the Super Bowl. We were like, oh, Howie put a good team together. We did that. I don't remember talking about Howie this year.
Yeah. when everybody loved Howie because we
last year when we went to the Super Bowl.
No, the first 10 games when we won.
I keep telling you, not even the first 10 games. You keep saying 10 games. We had 10 wins.
10
but they were
wins.
10. We just said that they were games that.
It doesn't matter. We were still winning.
Yeah, we were still winning. Right. That's the
winning,
NFL.
it's all good.
Right. That's the NFL.
Ever. You
Listen,
can look at
think about what y'all just said. Long as we winning, it's all good. But we found out that it's not all good because those wins was just like
they mean nothing. They meant nothing.
They were like illusion. I mean, it gives you that false sense of,
Hey, look, so we got
who
some
else
play.
could go? You know who else could go? Slay could go too.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he a big
oh,
mouth.
it's
He
not
be
that
running
whole
too much.
back. You ask me.
Yeah, he run his mouth too much.
Bad, in my
All the
opinion.
hardbacks was getting burned. You ask me.
And he can't tackle either. Slay don't tackle.
Nobody.
Poor leader too. You know, I don't even know why he has a captain's badge. Honestly, right? Why, just because he's older? Dude's so immature, man. I mean, like, so. But I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, it's just like I didn't get consumed with these wins, right? Early on, because if you just look at the substance, right? If you look at the pizza sauce, it tasted funny. Okay. You barely beat the Patriots, and I give them a pass because it was week one. You struggle against the Commanders, and you can't say, "Oh, it's just a division rival," you know, but we still won. No, man, they played terribly. The Minnesota Vikings, I mean, the only two games I think where we had a real like good
Convincing win.
performance might have been the Dolphins and the Rams game, maybe. That's it. That's the
Yeah.
only I could say where they were like they put out something that's credible. But overall, man, they've been garbage, and they just luckily won games. If those receivers for the Chiefs would have hauled in those catches that were right in front,
That would have been a loss.
Yeah,
That'd have been a
the Chiefs
loss.
lost the game more than us. We won the game. They lost it.
That
Yeah.
was my point.
Right after touch. Yeah.
That was
it's
your
a win for the Bills.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
mean,
win.
like, if you went game by game and how they won, or what the situation was in each game, like he was just breaking them down. You barely won that one, and this and that one, and they lost the game. They had caught them passes or them last plays where they had the ball.
But the flip side is people were saying we found a way to win.
As a fan,
It was the
Right.
footsteps. It was the guy was
Right.
afraid of the hit, which is why he lost the ball because we were right
As
on
a
him.
fan,
We kicked the field goal. We got ourselves in a good position, kick the field
Right.
goal.
Oh,
You can
right.
flip it anyway.
well,
Right. You can flip it
But
anyway.
really, really screwed up was just demoting Sean Desai, right? Despite, those lucky wins and losses, right? Demoting him, it just destroyed our locker room.
yeah, it did.
And bringing in Patricia from where? Where the hell was he? Like,
No,
really?
he's been there. He's been there. Yeah,
Well,
Patricia's been there.
he was terrible. He's never been good. He wasn't good at the Lions.
Like in the check.
Right.
That's why I lost the job at the
Yeah.
Lions.
Right,
Yeah,
right. He was terrible with the Lions.
Terrible with the
Very-
Lions, and we bring him here like he's gonna be the great white hope.
So
Yeah,
that was a weak move. That was a weak move. That was weak.
And your players were telling you from the giddy up before you even brought him in here as a coach. Like Darius Slay was very uncomfortable, and he was very vocal about this because he played under him at Detroit.
Yeah.
Like, listen to your players at some point, and this is your GM. This is all your GM's name is on all of this crap, and no one's calling him out on this. And Harry Rose's problem here.
yeah.
Well, the
And
bottom line.
credit now, he's good at designing contracts, putting escape routes in the contracts. He's good at getting good value on trades. But in terms of development, retention, and things like that, he's poor. He keeps all these old guys around all the time that are washed up all the time. These sentimental deals, man. We can't do that no more, man. Like, we need some innovative minds in that GM office.
Okay.
See
Well,
if that happens.
that's our bottom line. That is. And
That's something, brother, on this call now.
just
And give some love. Give some love to the Flyers.
I was gonna say, let's not.
They-
It's
Yeah,
not,
they're kicking
they
butt.
are in
Wait.
second place in
They
their
skating.
division,
They
and they are. I just had the records like out of 47 games, they're
They're
like
playing
26
tonight too. Are they playing now? I
Yeah,
know
they
think
are.
They are. Yeah.
Yep, they
Yeah.
are.
They lost
They're,
last night.
and they're losing 3-0
That's all right. He's leading 3-0 last night.
in the second.
What you go say, Key?
Are y'all in favor of making a trade like Tobias Harris to a team for like Malcolm Brogdon or something like that?
Oh,
Out for him.
I don't trade Tobias because then you take it a step backwards.
Yeah, he's playing too good right now.
He's playing pretty all right.
Yeah, they need a big
I
though.
would have took for him. They already got rid of somebody. Already got Siakam. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Siakam went to the Pacers.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear what you say.
They need a big though. They definitely need a big, a forward or
They say, and there's a rumor going around that they may try to get Drummond back because they
That'd
say
be nice.
Chicago may have a fire sale because they ain't going nowhere with their core. And I like to see Drummond was a good backup for Embiid when he was here.
Oh yeah, big time.
He played a good game when we played them.
Hey, Chuck, I missed that first half. What would we have to give up to get Drummond?
really, Chicago is just trying to get rid of expiring contracts because
Yeah.
the main problem is they really want to get rid of Levine, but his contract is, I think it's like over 100 million left on his contract, and nobody's going to take it because he's injury prone. So I think they're just going to jettison a lot of players to try to get some.
Now from the Bulls, though, I will take the white boy with the headband. I forgot his
Oh,
name.
Caruso. Yeah, I would definitely take Caruso. Absolutely. But everybody wants Caruso. That was the Lakers' downfall, letting Caruso go.
Yeah, it was.
I heard we was gonna get Draymond Green.
That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work.
What you say, Key? What you say, Key? We didn't hear none of that.
We gonna get some damn collard greens.
Somebody get your.
I think the Sixers, though. I think the Sixers may stand pat because they have more cap flexibility at the end of for next season. But they are offering KJ Martin right now.
Okay.
Junior.
Well, we got less than a minute left. So we will reconvene next month to follow the Sixers after the All-Star game, and let's see the season through. Less than a minute. I want to thank you, my crew, for seeing us through this Eagles season. It's been rough. I'm glad we had time to conclude the season and relish on the Sixers. Yes, it's good news. I love you guys.
There we go.
Thank you for the support and like, comment. We'll be back next month, and I love my crew.
Starring Meek, Noob, Adrian, Big Boy Lloyd, Chuck T. Rocky.